Alrighty, well, how are we all doing today? We enjoying our nice hot day here at Busch Gardens?
Trying to.
Awesome, awesome. We all visiting from in-state, out of country even?
Out of state.
Out of state? Awesome, awesome. You guys also out of state, in-state? Okay, okay. So we got some people used to the Florida weather out here at least. Is this everyone's first Serengeti safari?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Love to hear that. Should be a fantastic time then today. We just have a few rules before we get started here today. Obviously, while the truck's driving around the Serengeti, we can't be moving around the truck. So we got to be standing in one spot and we got to be holding on, whether that be that metal screen down below, that wooden part up top, or the iron bar above that. Just got to be holding on to something while the truck's moving. As soon as the truck does come to a complete stop, you guys are totally allowed to walk around the vehicle, get a better view of the animals, take as many photos as you want. If you guys happen to drop anything off the side of the vehicle today, don't feel bad. You won't be the first, you won't be the last. Just got to let me know as soon as possible so we can get it out of the animal's habitat as soon as possible. And obviously it gets very hot and humid down here in the state of Florida, so just let me know if you guys are feeling unwell at all today. I'll get us back to the dock as soon as I can. With that, are we all ready?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, we're gonna be getting started here in just a little bit. We're either waiting for a truck or just waiting for somebody to give us a good old signal. But we'll be heading on out here in just a little bit.
Hey, let's go.
Was that a double? Okay. Alrighty, y'all, make sure we are holding on. That was the signal from my driver. We're good. You're gonna hear me say that about 15 more times today. By the end of this tour, we are definitely gonna be good.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys are wondering what kind of tree this is an acacia tree. This is gonna be one of the more famous trees out in Africa, one of the favorite trees for the giraffes to eat. So it just makes sense that we keep it outside of their habitat.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. Just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. We're good. Alrighty, but if we want to imagine like we're on an airplane, we're having our bumpy landing right now. And finally made it to Africa, guys. I know that was a long trip, but don't worry, we are finally here. We did just enter our first animal habitat. If we look off our driver's side, way out in the distance, past those fences, you'll see some weird two-legged animals. Those are humans. No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. We are gonna come to a quick little stop here just to make sure cheetah hunt's not flying over our heads, which I'm not seeing it, so just make sure we're holding on. We're good. Cheetah hunt is one of the faster rides we have here. It does launch you off at around 60-65 miles an hour, like you are a cheetah hunting after your prey.
Oh my.
But for real, guys, we did just enter our first animal habitat. This is where we're going to have our Nyalas. Nyalas are going to be a medium-sized antelope with chestnut coloring and vertical white stripes. There's going to be a couple individuals laying down right here on the ground, and then we'll also see a few of them hanging out way at the end of our habitat. A lot of the times they are hanging on our driver's side, but it looks like for this tour they're going to be hanging out on our passenger side. Now there is one individual that looks completely different out here. His name is Bengani. He is the only male Nyala. He's going to be hanging out on our passenger side over towards those fences. He's got a nice dark brown shaggy coat, two beautiful horns on top of his head, and he'll be a little bit larger than the rest of those females. Now, he wouldn't have always looked that way, though. He would have looked just like our females when he was a lot younger, before he reached that sexual maturity at around 2 to 3 years old. And that would have been to help disguise him in the herd as a female. That way, those other males in the herd wouldn't have looked at him and wanted to kick him out when he was just a young bachelor. Now, these females are going to be using those vertical white stripes for something we like to call disruptive coloration. It basically means exactly how it sounds. It's going to break up all of that animal's body parts and all of that thick underbrush, making it very hard for them to pinpoint that individual. But just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. We're good. We are now entering South Veld. If you guys do hear me use the word veld today, that is the Dutch word for field. That's just what we use here at Busch Gardens. But this beautiful white animal with nice curly horns off our driver's side are going to be our 8-axis, or our addaxes, however you would like to pronounce it. They are the most critically endangered species that we have here on our Serengeti. There was a study done in 2016 out in the Saharan Desert where these guys are naturally found, and only 3 were found that year. Now, estimations were that there were less than 100 of them breeding out in nature. So with breeding programs and conservation efforts on the rise, those guys were able to make a pretty good bounce back to where there's around 1,500 to 2,000 of them out in the world now.
Heck yeah.
We are going to be coming up on some of our long-necked friends, or our reticulated giraffes. We do have some rules for these guys, so just make sure we're putting on our listening ears. We cannot, and I can't stress it enough, you guys, we cannot pet the giraffes. We are not petting them on their necks, on their faces, giving them nose boops, chin scratches, anything of the sort. If we do, they could get scared, run away from the vehicle, and guess what? That's the end of our feeding. But if we do get the opportunity to feed them, what we're going to do is when I hand you that lettuce, you're going to raise your hand up as high as you possibly can. We're going to pretend to be the tree we were always meant to be. And as soon as they grab that lettuce, we're just gonna let go of it. We don't want to play tug of war. We don't want to play tease. We just want to give them their treats.
That's why he's looking at everything, because he knows
These guys
exactly
know
where it comes.
exactly what's up. So this right here is Rita. When we go right up to Rita, we're gonna hold our hands up as high as we can. She's gonna grab it with that nice long tongue, unless she doesn't want to. She's gonna grab it with that nice long tongue just like that, and she's gonna take it right away from you. So I'll come around and I'll hand you guys pieces of lettuce, and you can go right up to her and feed her. I just ask that when you're done, just go right back to where you were standing, just so we give everyone a chance.
Oh, yeah, it's an ostrich.
There is an ostrich hanging out with all of our giraffe friends right now. Her name is Wilma. We like to make the joke that Wilma thinks she's a giraffe, which is why she's hanging out here on South Belt. Now she actually does have a little bit of an injured wing on her, so when she was getting her wing fixed in her back area, she was in the area with our giraffes. So she got very accustomed to these guys, very used to them. And we like to make the joke that now she thinks she's a giraffe. You know, they both have long necks, they both have long legs, they're pretty much the same animal.
That they are.
But they're not.
Not.
Now you guys notice, what color is that tongue?
Purple.
Purple.
Blue.
Exactly. It's going to have extra melanin inside of it, and that's going to be to protect it from all of this harsh UV. If you guys had your tongues outside of your mouths your whole lives, you'd be a little bit worried about it getting sunburned.
Oh, yeah.
Now you notice how long that tongue is. You guys want to take a guess about how long it is?
7 feet.
7 feet?
Two.
Their neck's about 7 feet long. So it's going to be about
17 inches.
a foot and a half in length. They're about 18 inches in length. So it's going to be a prehensile tongue. Prehensile basically means it can grab onto stuff and wrap around stuff. It's basically like a hand or an appendage.
Oh, or tail. Or is the tail? Yeah, the tail.
Not the tail, the tongue is. So
no, I'm saying like, it's kind of like a tail of a
like
monkey's.
a monkey's tail. Yep,
yeah,
exactly, like those spider monkeys.
That's pretty fire.
So these guys, they're pretty much the watchtowers out here on the Serengeti. They're always seeing what's out here. A lot of the animals actually pay attention to the giraffes, because if the giraffes start running, there's something out there for sure.
You go, Rita. Oh, so we should run to us.
All right, y'all. So I am going to be opening it up for group photos if you guys want. I just need a phone with a camera ready. That's all. Awesome. So if you guys want to go stand right over in that corner, you can raise up that piece all the way. Don't forget to look at the camera. I'll hand you another piece. You're going to use your outside hand and then raise it way above your head. All righty? And then don't forget to look at the camera. Those are fantastic. Alrighty, y'all. And if you guys wanted to go, I just need to see your phone with your camera ready. Awesome. And you guys can stand right over in that corner.
You want to feed it?
Yeah. So I'll hand you this piece. You'll use that right hand. Hold it way up in the air. Don't forget to look at the camera. Awesome. Those are fantastic, y'all. So I'm going to come around and just keep handing us pieces of lettuce. And we're just going to keep eating till we run out of time or run out of lettuce. Everyone comes first.
How come they're not hungry?
Now Rita here, she's about, I believe, 16 or 15 years old, I believe. So she's not crazy old. They will live to be around 20 to 30 years in professional care. So she's a little bit over middle-aged, I would say. Now she does have a little bit of a crooked jaw. If you notice how her tongue is kind of always hanging out of her mouth, she does just have a little bit of a jaw problem that she got when she was younger.
Thought it was like.
Now these guys do eat around 75 pounds of food every single day. So this little lettuce with 0 calories and just like no real nutrition is going to be pretty much, they can eat as much of it as they want.
No, we go in their hair.
Do they spend majority of their time eating?
A good amount of the time. They will just be a lot of the time just slowly grazing, browsing, everything like that. They have that 4-chambered stomach, a lot like our cows. So when they actually regurgitate a lot of their food and they'll chew it back up and swallow it again. So they chew their cud. That's where that phrase comes from. They're basically throwing up in their mouths, chewing it up again, and then swallowing it right back down. Yeah. It's just like to get an extra ground down and everything.
Right. Beautiful.
Of course. Gonna do head and lettuce real quick. So it is totally free choice for our giraffes if they want to come up to our vehicle and partake in this feeding. But it is all positive reinforcement that we're doing for them. So when these guys walk up to our vehicle, we give them this nice watery treat. It encourages that behavior in the future. It's like when you train your dog to sit. When you train it to sit, you give it a treat, it encourages that behavior in the future. Now the way we identify these guys are going to be those chest patterns, but Rita here, she's just a lot whiter than a lot of our other giraffes, so she's very easy to just tell apart from everyone else. But otherwise we would be focusing on those chest patterns. So there are 2 individuals right behind this tree on the other side. There's a smaller individual and a larger one. That's going to be mom and daughter. That's Angel and Athena. Angel has a cross right on her chest, and Athena has a little A right on the bottom of her chest.
Oh, you're so pretty.
He said Athena and
Angel.
Angel. Athena.
Rita is one of my personal favorites. Her full name is Margarita. The reason we call her Margarita, at least in my opinion, is if you look at her chest patterns, they're kind of spread out. They're like islands, and who wouldn't want to be drinking a margarita in the islands?
That is some top tier naming right there. I like that.
Can you make it beautiful?
We do have to actually name pretty much every animal that comes to our facility. Everything here has a name so that it's logged down.
Oh, sorry.
That does make sense.
Wait a
The
second.
best way to utilize it. That builds a personal connection too.
It does. It actually does build a personal connection. Some of our rhinos actually know their names. It's kind of
Really?
funny.
Oh, like when you call it out.
Yeah, I've actually been on a tour, and we'll see one of our rhino trainers come out. So it looks like Takiza's also going to come up to our vehicle. You guys are more than welcome to feed either one now that comes up to our vehicle. But I will let you know we are getting to our last few heads of our last little pieces of lettuce. So just make sure we are taking some good old photos.
She said, yeah, give it to me. No.
And that's, so Takiza here, she's got a D right in the middle of her chest. That's how we tell her apart. Alrighty, y'all. I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna give us some of our giant pieces. You're gonna take this piece, hand it right to her. You're also gonna give this piece to her. And then one of you, whoever you would like to decide, is gonna give this piece to Margarita right here.
Margarita for you.
And then this is Sakari
right
walking behind us. Sakari has a starfish on her chest, and Takiza, she's got that D right there on her chest. It's like a brown D.
See?
Alrighty, y'all, that was the signal from my driver. Make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. Alrighty, y'all, and make sure we're holding on. And then just watch your heads, because they might not watch theirs. Alrighty, y'all. We're good.
She's like, I want that.
Bye, Rita.
Bye, Rita. Bye, Takiza.
So they're leaving?
Bye,
Takiza also She's a pretty funny one. I like to say she's our derpy one. She just always has her tongue hanging out like always just hanging out of her mouth. But as we come around here, we're gonna notice some of the more of those chest patterns on these guys. So Athena, if you look, if she's facing us, it's gonna be on the bottom. What would be her right side? You'll see a little A kind of on the side. This is actually Patty, so it's not an angel as I thought. Patty's got butterfly wings on the bottom of her chest. She's also got one of the more orangest of heads. This is going to be Bernie, our male, on the right side, or passenger side. He's going to be the tallest one out here. And he's also got a hoof print right on the middle of his chest. And then I believe this is going to be Angel out here on our driver's side. Now Bernie is the only male we have out here. We do have our main breeder male Titan in the back. If you guys were interested in meeting Titan, you definitely can on our giraffe encounter, which is specifically all about giraffes. You get to go to our back barn area, but feed our big guy Titan, and then also meet Ruby, which is going to be his girlfriend back there right now. Now people always wonder, is Titan happy in his back area if he doesn't get to come out and see all of his other giraffe friends? Trust me, Titan is our breeder male, so he sits in our back area, brought food every single day, and he's also brought females, so he's having a great time back there. Alrighty, y'all. We are going to come to a quick little stop here right before we enter our next area. This is going to be our black rhino habitat.
I didn't know they had a rhino.
Our black rhino habitat, so just make sure we are holding on. We're good. Alright, so we'll be paying attention on our driver's side for Jody. Jody's going to be our oldest animal on our Serengeti at the age of 36 years old, and the oldest black rhino in North America. So we'll see if she's outside of her little rock cave sort of habitat right now. A lot of the time she might be hanging on the inside. So it does look like she's hiding away from us right now. We'll see if she comes out on our way back. She's a little bit of an old lady, you know, on a hot day like today also. I wouldn't blame her for hiding away on the inside. She's a more more solitary animal, which is why she has this entire front habitat to herself. She's a browser, not a grazer. They have a more limited food source, and with a more limited food source, she doesn't want a lot of friends in there hanging out with her, eating all of her food. Right. But just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. We're good. Alrighty, just to let you know, there's gonna be a loud noise as we go over these cattle gaps, so just don't get startled. That's all that matters. Maybe not. We actually took a little bit of a further trail. That's like one of the first times I've made that noise. Alrighty, but we have just now entered North Belt or North Field. If we look off our passenger side, we are going to be seeing our main crash of white rhinos. That's what we call a group of white rhinos.
Crash.
There is a smaller individual hanging out towards the middle of that crash right now. That's going to be little baby Azizi. Azizi does mean precious treasure in Swahili. That name was chosen by you guys as the public. We'll give about 3 to 5 different names out to you guys, and you guys get to vote on what name you think fits best for our babies.
Watch out.
She's only going to be about 10.5 months old, but do you guys want to take a guess about how much she might weigh?
300.
300? It's a little bit on the low side for her.
Oh, what?
700 pounds.
700? I'll tell you what, if you combine both your answers, that's about how much she's going to weigh. So she started off at around 100 to 150 pounds when she was born, and they'll gain around 75 to 100 pounds a month after that. Sometimes
that's the one on the
2 to 3
left.
pounds a day.
Oh my goodness.
Now her parents are going to be a lot larger than her though. Their parents are going to be weighing around 4,200 pounds, or about 4,200 pounds. Weighs pretty much the same, if not bigger, than some of the cars that we drive back at home.
Tesla truck.
That size, they can still get up to a pretty good speed of around 35 miles per hour. Now none of us are that fast. Not even Usain Bolt, the fastest human alive, was that fast. So if you guys were getting chased by a rhino,
you are not
definitely want to make quick left and right turns, as you guys don't turn the best, or just hide behind a tree. We actually call it a crash of rhinos because these guys don't have the best eyesight, so by the time they realize they're going to run into something, they usually crash right into it. Now we are going to be seeing a large mud hole as well, right next to our rhinos. The rhinos are going to be pretty much the only ones who use this large mud hole. We actually get our mud and clay imported from out of state. We get it from Georgia, and that's because a lot of Florida substrate, if anyone's familiar with that, it's a lot of sand. So if these guys were to roll around in sand all day, it wouldn't really protect them from any of that harsh UV. But when they roll around in the mud, it applies what I like to call a nice little layer of sunscreen for them.
Ooh.
Now their horns are going to be made out of keratin. Keratin's going to be what our fingernails and our hair is made out of. It's just a lot denser. And these guys have what we call false horns. So the true horned antelopes and gazelles, they have bone connected to the skull with a nice sheath of keratin on the outside. But these guys, their entire horn is made out of keratin and it is not connected to that skull. Now they're named, we call these guys white rhinos, but if you notice, they're not actually white. They are going to be more of a dark brown in coloration, a little bit of a gray. Their name actually came from a mystery. On here, guys. Just make sure we are holding on.
Oh, I like it.
I thought they were playing for a second.
Again, guys, make sure you're holding on, just in case they do come up to the vehicle a little bit. We just don't want them. Yep. Just don't want it. And this is, by the way, guys, is the closest I've ever been to them.
Really?
Just wanted to let you know. This is the closest I have ever been to JoJo. These guys are our 2 newest white rhinos. These guys are part of that species survival program. This program is basically just a large breeding program that a lot of the zoos and facilities here in the United States do partake in.
Look at my butt.
Share our genetics out with each other to pair each other up with animals and make sure that a lot of these vulnerable, endangered, and critically endangered species do have a place in our world in the future. You guys are very lucky to be getting this close to our rhinos, I will tell you that.
Well, if this is the first time it's happened for you.
20 feet distance away from them. Yeah, so you saw them coming down that hill, you realize how fast they are actually.
Oh, yeah.
They're a lot faster than we think. Now these guys, as I was saying earlier, their name came from a mistranslation. Obviously these guys are not the white rhinos. They are white rhinos, but they're not white in coloration.
Right.
Their name came from a mistranslation. Their original name was white rhino, which was the German word describing their very wide lips. But we thought, as Americans, obviously mistranslate stuff, we thought it meant wide instead of white. Or sorry, we thought it meant white instead of wide. So that's just how they got their name. They basically just off of a little mistranslation. The black rhino, she got her name. You can actually see the black rhino right now. She's on the back side of her habitat. That's where she was last tour for us anyway. She's a little bit smaller, but she doesn't come out here because she is a more solitary species. She's a browser. These guys are the grazers. So with the browsers, they have a little bit more of a limited food source. Again, she doesn't want a lot of friends in there eating all of her food. Our white rhinos are going to be the most sociable species out of all the rhinos. They're the ones that are most fine living with each other. But just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. We're good.
So were they affected by the fireworks?
Not really. So we do get that question a lot of the time, or do the animals get bothered by any of the rides, fireworks, noises, anything like that? And honestly, what's funny is they have a worse reaction when there's nothing going on in the park. So we actually had a day where we closed the park completely, no one was allowed in, anything like that. I think it was during the hurricanes and stuff like that. And the animals, all the animals in the park were
freaking out.
Was up with them. Just because they were like, what's going on? Where are all the people? Why is nothing happening? They were more freaked out that there wasn't anything going on than there was going on.
That's what?
But that was a pretty cool encounter with our white rhinos. I will let you know that. I've personally never been that close to one of them. So that was fantastic to be able to get that close and not have any issues.
Right.
We are going to be seeing our smaller antelope species though, right off our passenger side. These are going to be our Grant's gazelles. We do have a funny saying here that Grants wear pants, and it'll be because of these nice white hindquarters these guys have. On most gazelle and antelope species, those white hairs are not going all the way up past the tail like on our Grant's gazelles, but instead they'll be staying on the lower halves of the legs. But if we look past our Grant's gazelles towards that other tree, a little bit past this first tree, we are going to be seeing a nice shaggier haired animal laying underneath those. That's going to be our Ellipsin water bucks. Now those guys get their name because, well, they never stray more than a few miles away from a water source, and their Ellipsin part of their name became from that nice white circle on their butts. There is some funny folklore that goes along with that circle. There was an old man that was painting his deck one day, and then the Ellipsin water buck came over and knocked over his can of paint. Spilled it all over his deck. Now that man got so upset, he took that can of paint, he threw it right at that water buck, and left a big old circle right on his butt. Now, obviously that story's not true. That is just going to be a funny folklore on how they got their circles. But the main reason on why they have their circles is to act like a target so that their young can actually follow them and they never get too separated as a group. But just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here.
I'm about to go in this side.
Yep, no worries. We're good.
You don't see the animals coming over here?
So if you guys were wondering, one of the ways we actually identify when our rhinos are getting a little bit agitated are going to be those curled tails that we saw when they were running down that hill. When they curl up their tails, kind of to make it look like a pigtail on their back, that's one of the ways that we can tell that they are a little bit bothered right now by our presence or by something else. Also, if their ears get pushed back way, way back, that is going to be another way to tell. But we are going to be seeing a nice shaggier haired animal with beautiful horns on top of its head. This is going to be our Ellipsin, or sorry, not Ellipsin. These are going to be our common wildebeests. These wildebeests are pretty famous for something out in Africa called the Great Migration. Now I'm sure a lot of us might have heard about that migration. Over 1 million individual wildebeests make up that one Great Migration, and since they all sync up their births to be around the exact same time, over 400,000 babies are born during that one migration. With a lot of babies means a lot of predators. So they're gonna have a lot of lions, they're gonna have cheetahs, hyenas, and African wild dogs. African wild dogs are the most successful out of all the predators with a success rate of upwards of 90%. Pretty much every time they go looking to take down an animal, they are successful in taking down that animal.
What?
But we are going to be able to see some of our striped friends right now. These are going to be our common zebras. We do have a second species of zebra here that likes to hang out with our giraffe friends out on South Veldt. Those are going to be our Grevy's zebras. And there's a third species out in nature that we don't have here at Busch Gardens, and that's going to be the mountain zebra. The only reason we don't have them here is because, well, there's no mountains in Florida, so it wouldn't make for the best habitat for those guys.
Right.
But yeah.
You know they can kill a lion
Oh yeah.
with their kicks?
Oh yeah. Yep. These guys are very, very strong. They're kind of like our donkeys here in the United States. But I also get the question, why don't people ride zebras out in Africa like we ride horses here in the United States?
They do not like it.
We don't see a lot of people riding donkeys here in the United States, and that's because donkeys have a little bit more of that attitude to them. Their love language, including zebras, is biting and kicking. They literally, that's how they communicate with each other. That's how they tell each other that they love each other. So they pretty much just don't want to be ridden. That's as simple as I can get it. Now we are always taught that zebras are black and white, right? Now if we walk over as the trade goes by, as you get to see the back of their manes and on the tip of their tails, you'll notice where that hair thins out. You'll as soon as you add a little bit of creamer and thinner to it, it starts to get more of that brown coloration. When the zebra's hair thins out, like on the back of their manes, you'll start to see more of that brown coloration. Now, there is a few different reasons on why zebras have stripes. One of the main ones is going to be for that disruptive camouflage, like our Nyalas. But you might be thinking, what is the zebra going to be blending in with out on the Serengeti if it's black and white or brown and white? But it's actually going to be blending in with each other. So when they're running around as a group or as a dazzle, that's what we call a group of zebras, so are those stripes. They go all over the place, makes it very confusing for a predator to pinpoint one individual.
It's like the illusion.
Alrighty, y'all, just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here.
That's pretty awesome.
We're good. Alrighty, now male zebras, a pretty interesting fact, they actually have canine teeth like predators to actually gore out the other male's private parts.
Whoa.
So that's what they do. They will bite and try to kick at the other male's privates to basically make sure that he's never able to have babies again in the future.
Yeah, it's all
Good thing
mine.
we're not zebras.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But you guys have any questions about any of these animals that we have seen so far? That's totally fine if not. That's totally fine. Cool fact about our lips and water bucks as well, we are only seeing females right now. We don't have any males out here. And that's a good thing because males and females both secrete an oil onto their hair. And it's going to basically keep them dry when they're walking through all of that water. Now the males' oils, they just smell a lot worse. You can actually smell those males' oils from up to 2 miles away. So it's a good thing we don't have any out here. We would definitely be smelling them right now.
Like it stinks?
They stink, yep, they smell pretty bad.
That's like a mating type thing?
No, so they both secrete oils just on their hair to keep them dry when they're walking through the water. So since oil's kind of hydrophobic, it keeps their hair nice and dry. But the male's oils, they just smell a lot worse. I think it is actually not necessarily for mating, but it is for like territorial purposes.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that if any other male smells it in the area, they know that there's another one nearby probably. Now we do have one male rhino out here. His name is Tombo. He's going to be hanging out on the hill, I believe, right past the oh no, there he is, right on the other side of the hill. He's the only male white rhino that we have out here. If we were to have other ones, they would probably get into territorial disputes over these females. We do like to keep it one male per species, pretty much.
So that's the only one.
He is the only male. But just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. We're good. Yeah, he's been pretty active with JoJo and Cayenne lately, which is what, yep. You can see how fast they are. Oh, they almost got the little baby.
He's a baby. Oh, that's the baby.
He's pretty active, as you can see. He is
and you
the
said
only male.
he's 1,000 pounds?
That little baby is 1,000 pounds, and I'm pretty sure if Tombo got under her there, he could throw her in here. Yeah, they are so strong. If JoJo and Cayenne were running at full speed, they could probably tip over this truck.
That's some vegans, boy. That's some
why I always like,
vegan.
just
That's
make sure
the
we're holding
vegan
on when they're
straight.
that close, because
Vegan straight.
if they hit the truck, we just want to make sure they're holding
I'm talking
on.
about if you're a vegan, you can be skinny. Now you gotta eat a lot like these
She was on the
animals.
back side of her habitat. Awesome. Alrighty. Also, as we come around here, just make sure we are holding on. We are about to get moving here. We're good. There she is. So she has a more solitary animal. Most of the time, black rhinos actually come together as a group are going to be for mating purposes or when they're raising up their young. Now at Gigi, she's about 10.5 months old. Same thing applies for those white rhinos with if they are pregnant with one and they already have a baby out, that baby needs to be ready to leave mom by the time they're ready to have their other baby. She's not going to be taking care of more than one baby at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yep, so baby is easy. She would be in the wild getting around at that time. They usually stay for about 1.5 to 2 years until that female
Messing with the...
Now our Adaxes here, since they live in the Sahara Desert, they have the unique ability to actually go a long time without water. They can actually separate the water from the plants that they eat. So if you guys want to take a guess, how long do you think they can go without drinking water?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? More than that.
Whoa.
3.5 weeks.
More than that.
2 months?
More than that.
6 months.
More than that, they can go their entire lives without drinking a sip of water.
What?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. They can separate all the hydration from the plants that they eat in their liver in their stomachs.
Do they?
Just make sure we are holding on. We're good.
Are they usually around water? No.
No, they're in the Sahara Desert. That's where they're naturally found. So there's never really water sources out there. So they need that unique ability to separate all of that hydration from the plants that they need.
They're like
They're
cactuses.
pretty crazy. They never have to take a sip of water in their entire lives. I wish I could do that, but
Yeah. I
Does
smoke.
anyone have any more final questions about any of those animals that we saw today?
No, sir.
That is totally fine. If not, on behalf of Busch Gardens and myself, I just want to say thank you guys so much for being able to join me to our Serengeti Safari. Everything you guys do here, from simple admissions to our Serengeti Safari tour, helps us donate to our Wildlife Conservation Fund. Busch Gardens and SeaWorld partner together to donate over $1 million every single year to that Wildlife Conservation Fund. It'll help protect and support these animals in their natural habitats. And without these animals, I wouldn't have a job. So I thank you guys a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you,
man.
my
Yeah.
God. Man, you taught me so much about
That is my
so
goal.
many
I'm trying to
animals.
just teach you guys as much as I can. Hopefully one of those facts sticks with you guys and you can teach some people, other people.
Oh yeah. It's all on here.
Oh,
good.
but if you guys had to guess, what do you think that giraffe picks its nose with?
Tongue?
Its tongue. So you might have thought there was a lot of slobber in its mouth.
We got boogers? Giraffe boogers on it?
It's giraffe boogers. So we always just want to make sure, and when you get off this vehicle, to grab some hand sanitizer from that little green box that when you grabbed on your way back. If you guys can, stop by those bathrooms next to where we checked in today. Give your hands a good scrub in, wash them real good. We don't want any giraffe boogers on our face or our food.
I'm a wipe a kid, but yeah, you got dry boogers on you now.
So if we can all say we're good on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We're good.
And we can imagine like we're back on that airplane. We're having our nice bumpy landing again. And we finally made it back to the United States, guys. We got jet lag out there.
I did a little bit.
Well worth it.
Some
Well
nice
worth
rain
it.
to cool us off at the end
Well
too.
worth it. I like that.
That's always a positive. Did you make it back?
Yeah, thank you. Enough of that.
Barely.
Hey Zach, Jojo, Tombo's acting up with Jojo's hand, just to let you know. Just wanted to let you know.
When you see him again, let him know I like his mustache. It's pretty fire.
He always gets that all day.
All the time? Oh, that's probably why he does it.
That was a pretty
kinda-
cool sight with those rhinos, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That close.
In months, that's
It's a little
crazy.
scary for somebody who knows what they can do. All right, y'all, just wait for me to set up that ramp, and then you guys can hop right on off.
So do you think it can flip the truck?
If they came at like full speed, like when they were running up the hill at the end, I think if they connected with the truck, it'd be possible. It's possible. I don't know how effective it would be, but
Oh, we.
Just by doing this.
you can, yeah, you can get a free Serengeti Safari with that Platinum Pass, but you get to book it